Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Welcome to our conference, Strengthening Partnerships and Innovation in Mediterranean Non-Wood Forest Product Value Chains, which is at the same time the final conference to the H2020 project, Incredible. My name is Steven Liebrecht. I will be your facilitator for this session. Let me quickly share my screen to introduce you about the agenda for this session. So here we are. Okay, so what you see here is basically the same slide I have already presented this morning. So we have a two-day event. First session this morning was on incredible achievements, policy recommendations, and key project outcomes, with the debate we had on the creation of this non-wood forest product Mediterranean Observatory. Now, this session, the second session, is about the incredible Innovation Festival. So as the title already suggests, this is clearly about knowledge exchange and innovation. And more specifically, what we're going to do in the next 2.5 hours is to introduce to you some key components of the work that has been done in the Incredible project. And the first presentation is going to be about knowledge exchange, and more specifically, this knowledge. It's a quite impressive knowledge repository, if I might say so, on non-wood forest products. And it will be Joanna Paulo from ESA who's going to introduce us to this knowledge repository. This will be followed by a presentation on the Incredible Knowledge Contest. But in fact, it is going to be much more than just a presentation. Benjamin Chaplet from our project partner CMPF is going to introduce you to what is this knowledge contest, but you will also get an introduction to basically the finalists, the people that are candidate winners to the knowledge contest. Because if we say contest, it means there is somehow going to be a real contest with a real winner. So that will be part of that session. Afterwards, we will move on to really putting the focus on open innovation to establish non-wood forest product business. And more specifically, we will take a look at the legacy of the Incredible Open Innovation Challenge. And that part will be taken care of by Jacopo Giacomoni, who is from 84, and that is one of the other project partners of Incredible. And towards the end of today, we will still have some time for a round table to discuss the question how to support entrepreneurship and the uptake of innovation in non-wood forest product sectors. As already explained this morning, we try to do our best to offer you some variety of formats. So we have speeches, we had some shorter presentations this morning. Also now we will show you some videos, there will be infographics, there will be panel debates, there will be a polling. You will be doing the voting on who is going to be the winner of the knowledge contest. So all this just to do our best that we provide some kind of interactivity in this event. Now, if you happen to be a regular attendee, it means you are following this as a broadcast event in a web browser. If you would scroll down the window in your browser, you will see that there is a separate window, basically a chat feature. So if you have any questions, please ask them and put them in the chat. We have a team of people monitoring the chat and making sure that we somehow can take up the questions. Some of them will be handled directly here in the conference, but we might also provide you answers through the chat. So please make sure that you make use of this chat. If you happen to be one of the speakers, you know, you have seen this morning, it might be that you have to check some settings, but we had a preparatory meeting on this, and we're quite sure that you will either manage perfectly or receive the proper support. Now, we obviously aim to have a respectful debate, also in the chat, and also some respect for the timing. This is what I, as a facilitator, would also like to ask, which in practice means we have a quite fully charged program. We still would like to cover all of the points that are on our menu for today. So if I give an indication that we have to move on, it's by no means a sign of disrespect to the speaker or the section or the debate. It just happens to be that time is limited and we have to move on to the next point. As a final note, please be aware that this final conference is being recorded. I think that is about all I wanted to do as an introductory presentation. So I will stop my screen sharing. And before we move on with and introduce you to the first speaker, let us take another look at one of these animated infographics. You have already seen one or two of these during the morning session. Now, I would like to introduce you to the next one, which is on the Innovation Network on Resin. Alberto, you can launch the animated infographic. So here we are again. In the meantime, I received a notification that it seems that the chat functionality is disabled. Just be aware that people are working to try to solve this. I hope you check every now and then if you have a question, if you, in the meantime, have the option to indeed post your questions, because we want to hear your questions, we want to hear your remarks, obviously. But let's proceed with the program. And as mentioned in the agenda, or when announcing the agenda, we're going to have a first presentation on this knowledge exchange, and more specifically, the fact sheets repository. So this will be a presentation delivered by Joana Paulo. She is a professor at the School of Agriculture, ISA, the School of Agriculture related to the University of Lisbon. ISA is also the hosting organization of this event. Joana, you've been very active in the incredible project, so you have been involved in many exchanges, etc. So I think you're in a perfect position to explain all about the fact sheet repository. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Stephen. First of all, thank you for your kind introduction and welcome to you all. So I'll just share my screen with a small presentation on the topic that Stephen already presented. I hope everyone is now seeing the presentation. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to say that it was a pleasure to be involved in this task and to coordinate this task. This task was not only coordinated by me, it was a joint work with Benjamin from CNPF in France that will be later on, following my presentation, he will be the one presenting the knowledge content. So if you consider thematic networks that have been established under Horizon 2020, two of the main aims that the Commission defines for these projects are: one, the collection of existing scientific knowledge and best practices, and the second one, the translation of this knowledge to easily understandable end-user materials. Under this category of easily understandable end-user materials, we can include things like fact sheets or leaflets, but we can also include other materials. And it is important at this point for you to have in mind that the Incredible project did develop several types of materials. Some of them you are already seeing during this session. You have been seeing short videos, infographics. So under this presentation, I will be presenting to you the fact sheets and the knowledge repository, but please be aware that there are many other outputs from this project that you can check under the website of the project. So the goal, the objective that the Incredible project team had at the start was to develop 250 fact sheets in total. So as you can imagine, in order to do that, it is a joint work from all of the partners of the Incredible project that were involved. We have been able to go even further. So in total, the project produced 257 fact sheets that are distributed along the 5 INETs according to the numbers that you can see in the presentation. And there were also 5 fact sheets developed that we call transversal fact sheets because they consider topics that in a way are transversal to 2 or more of the INETs that we considered in the project. But the aim of the project was not only to focus on a product, for example, of resin. The project was also very much concerned about focusing in very different aspects along the value chain. And for this reason, the fact sheets were included in a category that considers which part of the value chain they were considering. And we have fact sheets covering the forestry or the harvesting processes. We have fact sheets that are more focused on the industrial processes. For example, we have fact sheets that are covering marketing and the consumer policy issues. We have fact sheets that are more related with research and development aspects. And we also have fact sheets that go on the training and on focusing on decision support tools. So I am absolutely sure that if you are watching this session, and if you are here with us in this event, some of you might work more directly in the forest or in the management. Others might be from the industry. Others might be politicians. I am absolutely sure that for each one of you, you will still find fact sheets that are relevant for you to read, that are of your interest, focusing one of these topics and one of these INETs. So, like I told you before, we even went further from the 250 that we were expected, that we are committed to produce. And you later on, with the presentation of my colleague Benjamin, you'll be able to have an overview on 6 of them and to participate in the knowledge contest. So, meaning that we recognize that these materials are so much important that the project even includes one specific event around them. What I am now trying to present to you is the reply to 2 basic questions. What can you read on the fact sheet, and where can you read them? Moving to the first question, what can you read them? What can you read when you go into one fact sheet? So the structure is very simple. You should remember that the idea is for the fact sheet to communicate, to disseminate knowledge in an easy way to end users. So it will start with a context that's more or less like an introduction, speaking about the issue that involves the title of the fact sheet. Then it has a section on objectives where you can read more clearly the goal of the fact sheet. And then you go for results. The second page is dedicated to presenting the results of the innovation. It might be the results of some scientific knowledge. It might be the result of implementation of a new technology by the industry. So the results here, they are exposed in different ways according to the type of subject that you are reading about. Then we have a section on recommendations. And of course, we all know that we might have recommendations, but we also might have weaknesses. So, for example, we might be reading a fact sheet on research and development, and that knowledge, of course, is translated here into the fact sheet in the results, but there might be some knowledge gaps still to develop in the future. And those weaknesses, as we call them, or those impacts, you might read about them in section called Impacts and Weaknesses. Later on, you have a section for future development, and you still have some, usually some graphics related to the topic. But in the last page, it's important for you to focus and to understand that you have information that is very important, namely the further information section. There you have a list of literature, of other places where you can look for further information. So if the fact sheet was interesting, if the topic was interesting for you, and if you want to read further, you can look for this section for more information. And last but not least, of course, you have the section with information, with the context of the author of the fact sheet. It's important, if we are speaking about communication, it's important for you to understand that the authors may be contacted and that you can engage with them later on. For example, if the fact sheet relates to a new product that was developed by a company, and if you want to speak with the authors of that fact sheet, please go here and please take advantage of this section to engage in the communication furthermore after this incredible project. We will be very happy if it will be of our knowledge that this fact sheet at the end resulted in communication between different people from different companies or different countries around Europe. Moving to the question of where can you read them? So because we had so many fact sheets, the fact sheets were all joined together in the incredible repository that you can access in this website, and I'll be showing you later on. If you go for the incredible repository, you'll be able to read the fact sheet on your browser, in HTML in your browser, in English, and you'll also have access to download the fact sheet in English, okay, in a PDF in English. But we know that there are many different languages among the many different partners from Incredible. So what we have done is that the fact sheets were translated to what I call incredible languages. They're not incredible, they are the languages of the Incredible partners. So For example, if a Portuguese partner develops one of the fact sheets, you will also be able to find that fact sheet translated to Portuguese. But then, in many cases, you will also find it translated to other languages because the partners from other languages, if they decided to translate them. In this case, in the case that you are looking for the fact sheets in other languages, then they are all joined together in the Namu Forest Products repository that you can find here. So now I will just stop this share and I'll just move to a new one, if you don't mind. Let me just to show you the very specifically where you can find these two repositories. So if you go to the Incredible Project website, you'll see it here. You go into the project website, and then what you should do is you should move to resources. You go to the menu resources. You scroll down and you go to the menu knowledge repository. When you do this, you will be moved to this page. So this is the Incredible repository. And here, if you go to the menu called Fact Sheet, here on the top right of this website, if you click here, what will happen is you will go inside the knowledge repository. And it looks like this. When you go here, what you can see is not only a map with the location of the fact sheet. Of course, if you zoom in, you'll see more concretely, more in detail where the fact sheets are located. But what important thing for you to see is that you can open this tab here and you can search more specifically for a fact sheet that is of your interest. For example, let me go and check fact sheets that were made for aromatic plants. You could select research or practice fact sheet, but let me just harvesting. The harvesting of aromatic and medicinal plants. If you do here apply, what the repository will show you is the filter of all of the fact sheets that were developed regarding harvesting of aromatic and medicinal plants. And you can see that you have 15 fact sheets that you can check. Now, if you go into one of them, if you click, you will go to be able to read in detail the fact sheet. A few seconds, and you will be looking at this first fact sheet called a Territorial and Multi-Stakeholder Organization for Sustainable Harvesting of Arnica. So this is just an example. Here we are. So here, like I told you, you can see the section that I have already spoke to you about previously. Okay, the authors, like I told you, and you can read the fact sheet. If you want to download the fact sheet in PDF, I will not do it now because it would be just time consuming for the presentation. You can do it here. So you have the download option to the PDF in English. And now let me move to if you want to read a fact sheet in another language. In that case, please go ahead and move to this repository, okay? And here, what you should do is you must go here on Horizon 2020 Project Incredible menu here. If you look here on the top right, and then move to click on Fact Sheet Repository, okay? And you'll be moved to this website. This website has the same functionalities that I told you before, so you can still make the filter. For example, now let me check how many fact sheets were done for Cork, and it will automatically show you this fact sheet. The layout it seems a little bit different, but if you click here, you'll be moved to read again the fact sheet. And later on here below, you have, like I told you before, the two options for you to download the PDF. This fact sheet, for the moment, is only available in English, but very soon you'll have it here translated to Portuguese, Spanish, or to other languages, like I was saying to you before. So let me stop and go back just to finalize and just finishing. And so this is what I wanted to inform you. I hope that you have the opportunity to explore and to go into deep in these two repositories. So enjoy the reading. If you have any questions, you can, of course, put them now or contact us. We are available to answer to any of your questions. The idea is for you to enjoy this very important material that all of the partners developed and disseminate non-wood products, because as we all know, they are indeed incredible for us all and for all of our countries. Thank you very much for your time. Stephen, back to you.
Congratulations, Joanna. A wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for clarifying. It seems like, yes, so what the heck? We have 257 of these fact sheets, but people need to realize that coming to this level, bringing all this knowledge together, selecting which should become a fact sheet or not, then basically drafting it, so compiling the knowledge, drafting this, editing it, correcting it. I think it is fair to say that for the entire project consortium, so for many people, some blood, certainly a lot of sweat, and occasionally there might have been some tears as well. But I think the outcome is splendid, and I think it's definitely something that all of us and all the contributors can be proud of. So it's magnificent. And thank you for clarifying this. Just for your information, in the meantime, the chat seems to be operational again, and we already posted the links to this, the websites you referred to, Joanna. So that's, I think that should be helpful. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will be making use of this knowledge repository. I mean, we created it, not for us, but for you, obviously. And it contains, like Joanna said, lots of this, many of each of these networks, but also at different portions of the sections of the value chain, different actors are involved, etc. So it's very, very, very rich. Please take the time to explore it. I think you will find several interesting things to be known. But let us now move on. And by moving on, we're going to enter a topic that is related to the fact sheets, yet a little bit different. It's the knowledge contest. And I would like to introduce Benjamin Chapelet. He's from CNPF, he's a forest engineer, and he, together with Joanna, they have been the two masterminds behind this knowledge repository and also the knowledge contest. So, as Joanna has explained the knowledge repository, Benjamin is going to focus and explain everything that is to be known on this knowledge contest. Benjamin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Joanna, and welcome to you all. I will start to share my screen. Yes. Normally, it's working now. Yes. Okay. Continuing with this Innovation Festival session, I'm going to present you the knowledge contest and how it was conducted along the life of the project with the knowledge repository, and that has been previously presented by Joanna. Then, one after the other, we'll see the presentation of the 6 finalists presenting their specific knowledge or practice. And finally, it's going to be your turn to work, as everybody will be invited to vote online for the winner. Yes. The knowledge contest was defined in the Incredible project in order to make knowledge emerge and capture it to generate fact sheets. It was also to boost the participation of external contributors among the different NS communities of practice and stimulate participation to the event. It was also done to provide a participatory activity So when I say contests, we all hear award. What is the award prize? The final winner of the contest will choose one of the incredible partner organization of his or her interests for a 2-day exchange visit to be organized within the following year. The purpose of this study, of this study trip, is simple. It's to give to the winner the opportunity to go deeper into a subject with other specialists, and he or she will also be put in contact with local or regional non-wood forest product stakeholders. And we must note that EFI, the European Forest Institute, will cover the travel and accommodation expenses for the winner, and this is not in the project budget. So we should thank EFI, and at the end, Ignacio Martinez will join me to greet and congratulate the winner. Yeah, let's first see who was able to apply to the contest, the eligibility criteria. Any external person outside the incredible partners not directly involved in the project, who contributes to the knowledge repository via the production of a fact sheet in the role of author. This is important because you will see that some of the finalists are from an incredible partner, but actually they were not involved in the project, and it just happened that they were working on a similar subject, so they collaborate in the production of the fact sheet, but they were not involved in the project. And in case of multiple authors of one fact sheet, only one author can be benefiting from the knowledge exchange visit. And the winner must be either able to communicate in English or in the local language of the incredible partner institution he or she will like to visit. So here are presented the 5 INETs with their incredible partners. And the objective was to end up with 1 finalist per INET. As you know now, the knowledge repository is composed of 257 fact sheets, which is, let's say, about 50 fact sheets for each of the 5 INETs. And the incredible INET members or partners were asked to pre-select the eligible fact sheets, and that was about 8 fact sheets for each INET. So that was the first step. And then we apply the evaluation criteria. So then we organized a meeting for each INET to discuss and evaluate the knowledge or practice presented according 4 criteria. The first one, novelty. The knowledge must be considered innovative in the sense of not widely spread already among the sector. And this criteria is a bit tricky because, as you can imagine, one thing can be innovative and new for one partner, and can be not innovative or not new for another one. So we needed to discuss about in deep about the different fact sheets. The second one was the practical use, and in the sense of the knowledge is ready to be disseminated and implemented. The third one is the impact. The knowledge, once implemented, would have an impact for the sector and contribute to promote the advancement of the non-wood forest product and at any value chain position. And the last one is about the feasibility. The knowledge will be easy to disseminate and implemented. Even with these 4 criteria, we had several ties. And in order to break the tie, we considered also 2 additional criteria, which were country and gender. so as to favor a more diversity in within the representation of the finalists. Let's now discover the 6 finalists. But before we do so, I would suggest to all of you to take a pen and a piece of paper to take some notes and keep track of your winner and your best fact sheets. Some of you may have already taken a look at the finalists on our webpage. So let's see. Let's start now with the first one. It's just an order of appearance. It's not the final order. It's just an order of appearance. And I will say a few words about each of them. The number 1 is from the Resin INET. This fact sheet is entitled New Drill Method for Resin Extraction in Segovia, in Spain. And it's about improvement of the working conditions and training. The author is Santiago Michavila from Spain.
Hello, my name is Santiago Michavila and I have participated in incredible project studying Pinus pinaster resin with Forest Research Center, CIFOR, of INEA and Technical University of Madrid. But I am currently studying at CSIC in Spain the molecular responses of plants like Marchantia polymorpha or Arabidopsis thaliana to abiotic and biotic stresses. So if I win the knowledge contest, I want to know Forestas Agency in Sardinia island, because I think that this island is a paradise in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea with a very incredible biodiversity. For this reason, I want to know how forest resources are managed. And that's all. Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Santiago Michavila and I have participated in incredible project studying Pinus pinaster. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago Michavila and I'm going to talk about the new drilling method for standardized studies and resin extraction from Pinus, which we have established. As you know, pine resin is a complex heterogeneous mixture present in all pine tissues, which have a protective effect against phytophagus and pathogens. This compound can be used in the manufacture of a lot of products like asphalt, varnishes, adhesives, paints, depilatory waxes, and chewing gums, among others. However, the collection method is still the same as it was 150 years ago by collecting resin in a pot. So a lot of resin evaporates, it gets very dirty, or even some animals drown in it. Also, the stimulating method pine to produce resin is about 50 years old by adding a stimulant paste every 12-16 days after making a gund manually. In addition, resin production depends very much on the skill of the operator, because the wound is not always the same, as well as the amount of stimulant paste to be added. So there is too much variability to conduct studies. For these reasons, we needed to develop a new method. Okay, based on our previous experience, we create an angulometric framing square to make inclined holes with the same angle, diameter, and depth. We filled the hole completely with stimulant paste, using a plastic bag to resin collection and traditional method as control. Some of the factors we studied were the difference in production between radial and tangential drilling, and the number of drills on the same side in a downward direction with a month separation between them. We obtained that the resin production with the radial direction was significantly lower than with the tangential one, so it is better to drill in a tangential direction. And we found no significant difference between locations. We also found that production was significantly lower with 1 or 2 drills compared to the traditional method, but there were no significant difference when we drilled 3 holes. Moreover, with the 3 drilling method, only 5 operations are needed, and we needed at least 10 operations with the traditional method. In brief conclusions, we have developed a reproducible and reliable method which can be used for scientific studies, but is necessary to confirm the results with more pines and more locations. Finally, it's impossible to mechanize the extraction methods using the 3 drill, but it's necessary to study the real cost effectiveness of the method. I would like to thank all the people who have worked on this study led by Ricardo Lia, and thank you, Pine, for your resin, and thank you for your silver time.
So this was the first finalist. Thank you, Santiago, and I know he's among the participants right now, so he's listening to us. And as you can see, that's our pre-recorded videos that we ask the finalists to provide us. So now let's go to the second finalist. Second finalist, which is from the incredible Resin INET as well. And this finalist comes from the poster session I was talking about earlier that was presented during the interregional workshop. So the title is Optimization of Ultrasonic Assisted Extraction and Study of Biological Activities of Pinus brucia Needles. The author is Mariam Rezgi from Tunisia.
Hi, my name is Rezgi Mariam. I'm 33 years old. I will have my master's degree in the environmental biosurveillance and happening in case of victory. I would like to visit the partner CTFC with Mr. Jose Antonio for its development in the domain of the valuation of forest resources in bioactive substances. I have expertise in the field of forest resources development and extraction of natural substances, and I would like to improve my knowledge throughout in the internship with Mr. Jose in order to use now technology. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I would like to present my work entitled Optimization of Ultrasonic Assisted Extraction and Study of Biological Activities of Pinus brucia Needles, presented by me, Mariam Rezgi. In fact, the objective of my work is to valorize the Pinus brucia needles for their richness with bioactive compounds used in cosmetic and medicinal products. In this study, we exhibited the different drying techniques of the needle, followed by essential oil extraction and the preparation of the extract in order to finally evaluate their biological and phytochemical activities. The main results of this study are, first, concerning the evaluation of the essential oil. In fact, the highest yield levels are obtained through solar drying with 2.05%. Then, the evaluation of the antibacterial activity showed a moderate effect of the essential oil on the growth of the different bacteria. Next, for the evaluation of the maceration extract, again, the solar drying technique showed better results with 8.49% yield and a high phytochemical levels of phenols and tannins for the extraction with slightly elevated temperatures. Finally, for the evaluation of the ultrasonic assisted extraction, the statistical analysis revealed that the ultrasound time and the percentage of ethanol decreases the efficiency of polyphenol extraction. On the other hand, the increase in temperature levels increased the response of polyphenols. The total content of the ultrasonic extracted polyphenols was found to be slightly elevated than those obtained by aqueous maceration. Finally, to conclude, we would like to say that it is important to valorize the pinus brucea needles for their richness in bioactive compounds exploitable in many fields, like agriculture, through different drying techniques to obtain the maximum quantities of these compounds. I would like to thank you for your attention.
So thank you, Mariam Resgi, for your presentation, for your videos. And I know that you're also in the participant right now. So now let's continue with the third participant, which is from the incredible Cork INET, sorry. And the title is The Valorization of a Co-Product from the Manufacture of Cork Stoppers, Creation, Production, and Marketing of an Innovative, Patented, and Objectified Cosmetic Active Ingredient. This fact sheet is about the development of new products and derivatives, and the author is Anne Rossignol-Castera from France.
Bonjour, good morning everyone. My name is Anne Rossignol-Castera. I am the General Manager of Olsa France, a company in south of France specialized in cosmetic ingredients. In my company, we have a lot of values for sustainability and biodiversity, and we try to work on natural resources to develop innovative cosmetic actives. During Incredible project, it was a pleasure to develop a diam oleoactive from oak tree and from a cork valorization. And we are very interested to develop new partnership in Mediterranean region and mainly in Portugal. That's why, if I am the chance to be the winner of this conference, I propose to have a partnership with UNAC in Portugal to develop a new resource from Portuguese biodiversity. Thank you very much. Good morning. I wish to present you a very beautiful, sustainable and credible success story from cork to cosmetic. This story starts in 2011 with a meeting of two partners in south of France, Diam Bouchage, the first French supplier of corks, and All Star France Oleos, my company, that produce high-value eco-extract for cosmetic. Together, we develop an integrated supply chain from a co-product of treatment of corks towards a patented and new ingredient for cosmetic. First, I wish to share some key points on cork. This production is really a central element of a sustainable Mediterranean economy. And cork is also a very good material with interesting physical properties like viscoelasticity, but also with chemical properties. For instance, we can find some biomolecules like suberin, but also triterpenes and ceroid with good anti-inflammatory and anti-aging properties for the skin. And we see also a very good link between the structure of cork and the structure of skin. So first we start with a co-product named peptide coming from the supercritical carbon dioxide extraction of cork performed by Diam Bouchage to eliminate trichloroanisole. Then we develop in Portugal a very specific handmade collect of leaves and flowers, because this part of the oak tree are very rich in polyphenols that have good antioxidant properties. With our oleo-eco-extraction patented process, we extract with a vegetable oil as a natural solvent To obtain a butter-like ingredients, EcoCert Cosmos certified totally natural and patented in case of Diam oleoactive. We demonstrate skin properties of Diam oleoactive with in vitro and in vivo tests, and we prove that this product has very good anti-inflammatory and anti-aging activity for sensitive and reactive skin. This ingredient is natural, safe, and non-allergen, very stable. So, we have demonstrated a sustainable new eco-design success story of a valorization of a traditional resource, oak tree, very specific of Mediterranean biodiversity. Many thanks.
Thank you, Anne Rossignol. So I saw her in the participants. So right now she's listening to us. Now let's go to the fourth finalist, which is coming from the incredible AMP INET, so the aromatic and medicinal plants. The title is Cooperatively Design and Manufacture Tools for Small-Scale Agricultural Production. The author is Alekos Pantasis from Greece.
Hello, I'm Alekos Pantasis, core member of Peer-to-Peer Lab Research Collective, which initiated Jumakers Community. I'm the community manager of the Jumakers Community, and my work focuses on the convergence of open source technologies with peer-to-peer education. Peer-to-Peer Lab is a research collective on the political economy of the commons, and Jumakers is an open lab for communities to collaboratively design and manufacture tools for small-scale agricultural production. If we win the knowledge contest, someone from the Jumakers community would like to visit the Forest Research Center INEA C4 due to its position between theory and practice and due to its connection between state and policy level and bottom-up communities. Thank you very much.
The Jumakers is a community laboratory who provides open design and construction solutions to the needs of mountainous, fragmented communities. Solutions to community needs for infrastructure in small-scale agricultural production. The laboratory, in the context of the project Cosmolocalism and with P2P Lab scientific support, functions and designs global and manufactures locally solutions. The laboratory facilities are located in the northern part of the prefecture Ioannina, called Tsoumerka, in the village Kalenji. The makerspace is a meeting and sharing of knowledge between scientists, residents of the local community, craftsmen, activists, and who contribute in general. The aromatic plants grinder came as an idea from the needs of two people to pack the organic oregano they were cultivating on a small scale. These two contacted the makerspace community to discuss whether a construction can be carried out to facilitate their life and work. Some initial plans were made and then open plan options were discussed. Materials and design were selected in a way that the structure is functional, durable, repairable, so that the resources are used properly and at a cost that would be manageable. As a result of the cooperation of the members of the community, submitting their respective competencies both in part of design and in that of construction, as well as the changes and corrections made by the contribution of all involved parties and craftsmen in order to overcome any difficulties and unbalanced factors, it is easy to see that open design is a never-ending process. The cost of the machinery constructed is less than half its commercial value. This fact shows that the knowledge gained from cooperation for the production of small-scale agricultural machinery can create preconditions for autonomy and independence beyond the prevailing trend of dependence on large industries. After a year of work, meetings, sharing knowledge, experiences and discussions, the original machinery has been completed. This machinery provides solutions to producers of need to process and package their production.
Thank you, Alekos Pantasis, for this presentation. And now we continue with the fifth candidate, finalist, which is coming from the incredible Walnut and Berries INET. And the title is A New Technology of Extracting the Fixed Oil of Pistachia lentiscus for the Benefit of Rural Women. This fact sheet is about the development of new products and, sorry, I just mixed them up. This fact sheet is about the improvement of the working conditions and training. And it's authored by Faten Mezni from Tunisia.
My name is Faten Mezni. I have a PhD in agricultural science, specialty rural engineering, water and forestry. Actually, I'm in postdoc in the National Research Institute for Rural Engineering, Water and Forestry of Tunisia. I'm working in the valorization of medicinal plants and non-wood forest products. If I win the knowledge contest, I would like to visit the Croatian Forest Research Institute. This visit will allow me to develop my skills in the forestry fields and to see different experience in the management of forests and their products.
A new technology of extracting the fixed oil of Pistachia lentiscus for the benefit of rural women. In Tunisia, Pistachia lentiscus fixed oil play an important role as a medicinal product with high potential economic value in forest areas where this oil is extracted. The traditional extraction methods practiced by women are based on non-ergonomic techniques, giving a low yield and a degraded quality of oil. This work aims the improvement of lentisk oil extraction to enable rural women to improve their working conditions and their incomes through the sale of this oil. During the new technology of extraction, the grinding of fruits, instead of being achieved by traditional grinding stone, is performed by a chopper. This generated a better grinded paste. Mixing in double boileds allowed the preservation of oil quality. The paste is then introduced into a press and oil is extracted. The new technology allowed the improvement of oil yield and quality. Oil yield was improved from 5% using the traditional method to 12% using the new technology. In addition, this new method is more ergonomic and allowed saving time. The new technology generated better incomes for rural women. The price of lentisk oil has been improved from 15 Tunisian dinar per liter in 2010 to 120 Tunisian dinar per liter in 2021. It is now more expensive than other edible oils such as olive oil. To disseminate these valuable findings, training sessions were organized for rural women in different Tunisian regions. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. So the last finalist, the sixth finalist, is from the incredible Mushroom and Truffles INET. The title is True Forum, Connecting the Black Truffle Producers with the Consumers. And this fact sheet is about marketing and consumers and authored by Joaquin Latorre from Spain.
Hello,
This is Joaquín Latorre, Secretary General of the European Mycological Institute, representing all the members of our institution. If TrueForum is selected, I would like to visit the European Forest Institute in Finland, a country with great mycological potential. On the one hand, I would like to explore the possibilities for synergy between the European Forest Institute and the European Mycological Institute. On the other hand, taking in advantage that I'm in Finland, I would like to travel to Northern Karelia and make a presentation of the EMI to private and public stakeholders of the mycological sector in the area and encourage them to join the European Mycological Institute. For the rest of partners of the incredible project, I invite you to visit our website, eumi.eu, and contact us to establish new cooperation links in the European Union. Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome to the TrueForum project presentation. On behalf of all European Mycological Institute members worldwide, we would like to thank the incredible project for the opportunity to show this European project called TrueForum. Let's start. TrueForum is an international event for the exchange of knowledge and best practices about the truffle world, created to promote its responsible use in homes and restaurants and to promote truffle tourism in the truffle production territories. The project was created in 2017 with the aim of promoting cooperation, exchange of scientific advances, and innovations with the truffle sector. TrueForum is led by members of the European Mycological Institute with the collaboration of the Truffle Growers Federation of Europe, France, and Spain. Public and private stakeholders from the entire truffle value chain are also involved. The idea of TrueForum was developed after carrying out a SWOT diagnosis of the truffle sector at a global level, trying to provide cross-cutting solutions of common interest and always involving stakeholders throughout the process. The main feature of this event are European cooperation, scientific exchange, multidisciplinarity. For the first time, truffle growers from different territories work as a team with common objective around the European black truffle of different origins. TrueForum was organized for the first time in Zaragoza in 2017, and in 2021 became an online and on-site event, when possible, in different locations in Occitanie, in France, Castilla y León, Catalonia, and Teruel in Spain. A public-private funding model has been sought. Until today, TrueForum 2021 has received more than 29,000 visits for 47 countries around the world. EMI proposes 3 solutions for TrueForum to have a greater impact in the sector. Solution 1. Promoting the integration of new European truffle territories in TrueForum.com and establish cooperation with Northern Africa and other international markets that are potential consumers or generators of truffle tourism, such as Asia. Solution 2. Encouraging the participation in TrueForum.com of local producers with the possibility of online sales of local truffles with quality guarantees and agents related to truffle tourism. Solution 3. Encouraging the popularization of truffle consumption through specific communication campaigns aimed at targeted sectors of the populations. On the screen, you can read all the ways to follow the TrueForum project and also how to contact the European Mycological Institute. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Joaquin. So you've seen that it was all pre-recorded videos. And I'd like to thank all the 6 finalists for this additional work, this extra assignment we asked them to do during last month. So thank you all for this presentation. And I think it was pretty clear to have the personal presentation, to know which partner they would like to visit, and to have a very pechakusha presentation, very brief in 3 minutes, about their fact sheets, their knowledge or practice they wanted to present. So now is the general view of the 6 finalists. I will say a few words for each of them in order to prepare the voting session. before I give back the word to Stephen. So for the first finalists, which is about new methods of resin extraction, it's from the resin INET, and it's about the improvement of the working conditions and training. We see that the finalists have selected Forestas in Sardinia to visit in case he wins the contest. The second finalist is about the second fact sheet. Is about Pinus brucia needles and oil extraction. It's also about the resin INET, and it's about the development of new products and derivatives. The candidates, the finalists, have selected CTFC in Spain to visit. The third candidate, the third finalist, is from the Cork INET, and it's about cork-based cosmetics. So it's about development of new products and derivatives. And the finalists have selected UNAC from Portugal. The fourth finalist, the fourth fact sheet, is from the Aromatics and Medicinal Plant INET. It's about an open and cooperative lab for manufacturing tools. And so it's about an improvement of the working conditions and training. And the finalists have selected INIA in Spain. The fifth fact sheet finalist is from the wild nuts and berries. And it's about Pistachia lentiscus and oil extraction. So it's working on the improvement of the working conditions and training. And the finalists have selected Sefri in Croatia. And the sixth finalist, the sixth fact sheet finalist, is from the wild mushroom and truffles. It's about the valorization and promotion of truffles. So about marketing and consumers. And the finalists have selected EFI in Finland. So I hope you have taken good notes from this finalist. And now I give the word back to Stephen to present you the voting session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think it's a wonderful introduction to all these finalists. Now, what people have to realize is that if you look at the wealth of information that has been documented in these fact sheets, out of these 257 fact sheets, we now have selected 6 finalists. So to come to that very limited selected number, this is already a very strong selection. So we need to really underline that all of them basically are winners, right? But this is a contest. A contest, we are at the final, and at the final, ultimately, there's only going to be one and only one winner. Now, to come from this 257 to 6, we basically, the people evaluating this, had to look at criteria such as novelty, practical use, the impact, in the sense, is this going to make a difference for the sector, non-wood forest product sector, and feasibility, right? So this has already been quite some nuanced, balancing several criteria, so it's a nuanced evaluation, if you like. But now we are at the point that we need to go from 6 to 1, and to do that, we count on the support and the active input from you, attendees. So let me explain how we are going to do that. Let me first explain the process, and then you can participate. Okay, so I will go to some share screening. It should be here. So I hope you're looking now at my shared screen. Okay, I'm just checking. Yes, okay, so here we have it. Okay, so what you see here, ladies and gentlemen, is the question we ask to all of you. And the question is, who out of these 6 candidates should be the winner of the Incredible Knowledge Contest? We ask you to take into account perhaps the same criteria such as novelty, practical use, impact, feasibility. If you find that too difficult and you say, well, I'll just cast my vote on the ones I like, that is okay. But we're looking at the winner that you believe is a rightful winner. Now, we are going to show you the list again. It's in the exact order as shown by Benjamin. So number 1 is the same number 1 as in the list of Benjamin, and number 6 is the same number 6 as in the list of Benjamin. So it's the same order of the videos that you have seen, so we hope you still remember them. Okay? At this moment, you see here, you cannot vote anymore. It just means I have not yet opened the votes. Okay? So what I would like you to do, all of you are looking in your web browser, so you will need to basically open a new tab and go to the WooClub website and then put in the code SBUKFK, and the code will be posted in the chat right now. So if you're still in the chat, if you're still in the website or the web page looking at this conference, you will find in the chat section, you should be finding the link right now. So please go to WooClub, dial in the code SBUKFK, or select the entire link as posted in the chat, and you go immediately to the right page. And what will happen right now is, please go there. The question is, you should indicate the winner, and you have 2 votes that you can cast. We ask you to restrict yourself to the 2 best, in your view, fact sheets, and then please do not forget to push the submit button. And I will open the voting process right now. So you can vote right now. And I see we already have more than 20 people that managed to go to the website. We already have almost 30 persons, yes, 30 participants to the voting process. So please select the 2 best options you see, and then don't forget to basically push the submit button, because otherwise your vote is not registered. We have 35 participants now. I would like to have some more. We're still increasing.
Steven, it appears we have a technical issue with the voting. Seems closed.
I have 40 people that are part of it, and let me again, it should be open. Let me see. Okay, what I'll do is I'll go to my other computer, which has a different connection. I think handling this together with the zooming is probably a little bit too much. Okay. So can I still ask people to try to join, because we're at 45 voters and I would like to see a little bit more, okay? And I will try to get it open. It should be open now. Yes, I see the votes are coming in. Okay. Keep trying, people. We have now more than 45 participants. I still would like to see a couple of more people attending. The line is open. And the process is going on. 24 persons have already casted their votes. 26. So it's increasing. So please indicate 2 options, the 2 best candidates, if you like, out of the 6 finalists, and then push the submit button. More than 30 votes now. We have 35 people that have voted now. I'll just give it a little bit more time. The number of people joining the website is still increasing, which is a good sign. So people keep trying. So you just have to go to bookclub.com and then insert the code SBUKFK, and it should be mentioned in the chat space. We have 40 persons that have responded. 53 participants, still increasing. As long as I see there is clear activity, I will give you the time. You know what, more than 50 persons, 55 persons attending. Some of them still making their choice. Okay, we have 59 persons who are now participating to the voting process. 45 have submitted, so please do not forget to submit your choices, otherwise they are not registered. And then they don't count for the results. We have 47 persons out of the 59 that have registered. So there are at least 10 more that have to finalize their selection and then push the submit button. It's increasing now, the number. I give 1 more minute from now onwards. So this is the time to make up your mind, to cast your vote and to submit. I still see there are several persons that are in the voting process, but I still have to cast their votes. I want your votes, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pity to be in the voting process and then not have your votes. So we have now 60 participants, 50 have responded or submitted the vote, I must say. And it's reasonably close. This I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to disclose the winner, but the last votes might make a difference. So we are very much interested to welcoming these votes. 51 people have now cast their votes. Dear participants, this is the time to finalize your preferences or selection and then indicate your choices in the vocab, and then please do not forget to submit or your vote is not counting. 52 persons have cast their vote. Going to give 30 more seconds, but no more. I need your answers coming in right now. The votes are still coming in. See, the number of participants is still increasing. So it takes a little bit, it seems. Okay. 20 seconds. So if you are joining the voting process right now, you will have to be very quick, because my hand is slowly going to the button where I can basically close down the voting process. 53 persons have responded. Please, 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 the ones remaining, make a choice. 6 options. We need your votes right now. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I will close the voting process right now. You cannot vote anymore, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to process the outcome now. And in the meantime, please do enjoy the video that you will be shown right now. It's one of these green tails, and I think you will like it. Alberto, you can show the video. Yes. Alberto, you can show the additional video, please. 3A. We just started.
Avec 5000 tonnes par an, soit la moitié de la production française, l'Ardèche est le premier producteur de châtaignes. Comme tout producteur du vivant, les forestiers et les castanéiculteurs doivent faire face aux aléas climatiques et autres parasites et ravageurs qui menacent leur peuplement et verger. Mais depuis une dizaine d'années, on constate que le changement climatique accentue l'impact de la maladie de l'encre du châtaignier.
Le châtaignier fait face à de nombreuses menaces, et en particulier des menaces d'origine biotique, c'est-à-dire causées par des agents pathogènes ou des ravageurs. Les trois principales menaces sont à l'heure actuelle l'encre du châtaignier, qui est causée par des micro-organismes qu'on appelle des phytophthora, le chancre du châtaignier, qui est causé par un champignon, et le cynips, qui est un hyménoptère, un insecte qui fait des gales dans les feuilles.
L'application Vigilancre permet à tout utilisateur enregistré de signaler ses observations de l'encre sur le territoire.
Le châtaignier, il a cette double fonction de produire du fruit effectivement quand il est greffé, et puis de produire du bois quand il est en état naturel, juste sur son porte-greffe. Donc les forestiers ont la même problématique.
L'importance relative de ces maladies varie en fonction des années, mais depuis une dizaine d'années, c'est l'encre qui pose le plus de problèmes aux sylviculteurs et aux castanéiculteurs.
C'est quelque chose où effectivement il faut qu'on se mobilise ensemble, chose qui est déjà faite, hein, c'est pas une première aujourd'hui, mais encore plus pour arriver à repeupler les forêts qui sont et les massifs qui sont favorables au bois, et repeupler en même temps les massifs qui sont favorables aux fruits, quoi.
So, well, I can imagine that all of you are now extremely curious about the outcome of the voting process, right? I can tell you it has been very close, but it's not my job to announce the winner. I would like to be in a position that I can show you the outcome after the announcement of the winner through a shared screen, but you've seen that there was a technical hiccup. I can't basically combine these two information streams at the same computer. My apologies for that. But I will hand the word to Benjamin. Benjamin, you have been looking at the outcome of this voting process, so you know the order of, well, in which these contests participants basically have ended at the finish. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, Benjamin?
Yes, I know part of the results because you and me the last one, which is secret. So the first one, the first place, I just received it. I know for the third place, the third place goes for the number 1 about new drill methods for resin extraction in Segovia. And that was presented by Santiago Michavila. And thanks to him. The second place goes for the number 5, which is a new technology of extracting the fixed oil of Pistachia lentiscus for the benefit of rural women. That was authored by Fatan Mesni. Thank you, Fatan. And the first place, I open the list, the envelope. And the first place goes for the fact sheet about cooperatively design and manufacture tools for small-scale agricultural production. It is authored by Alekos Pantazis. And normally, yes, Alekos, you're present, I see you. So now I give the word to Ignacio Martinez from EFI and Alekos. Thank you.
Ignacio, you're muted.
Thank you. They say this is the phrase of the year, no? You are muted. Please unmute your micro. Okay, thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you for all the fantastic presentation, fantastic video of participants, and for the voting. So yeah, we were actually nervous to see what happens because all presentations were really good, and we were worried also that we only have announced one prize. So we had a small deliberation during seeing the results during the videos, and because the results were very tight, the first three positions were tight, and we decided that we deserve a little bit more of a prize and give opportunity also to others to visit. So the first prize is as we announced it, is a short stay, a short research visit to a member of the Incredible Consortium. These visits, the winner will have until 2022 to make it reality. So there's plenty of time for planning. The maximum amount of support that we have foreseen for this call is €1,500 to pay the travel and the accommodation, and the stay can be of different length. So we can give half of it upfront at the beginning, and the second half once we have a report on the work done, and a satisfactory statement also from the host, a letter of support from the hosting organization. So the minimum stay will be 3 weeks, but the maximum we leave it open as you can play with the budget as needed. Of course, you can co-finance your own visit. Okay, so that's the first prize, but now I will telling you, we decided that it was worth the effort, and we would really appreciate what has been presented. So we are giving 2 accessits, which is half a price. So same conditions, but we will only be able to support you with half this amount. So only €750,000 for winner 2 and 3. Okay, so again, conditions are the same. You contact us, please. You tell us your plan. When do you want to be? We can help you arranging practicalities with the hosting organization, and then you can make this reality until 2022. So this is all. Congratulations, fantastic presentation. We have really enjoyed, and let me tell you that if looking at the voting, I see a strong push for not only for research, for practice in a balanced way, but also a strong push for highly socially driven projects, and we are very happy with this. We see that the winner projects have strong also social implications, and we are happy to support that. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Ignazio, for this statement. If I understand it correctly, you're going to support not only the winner, but also the number 2, I understand?
Yes, correct. We keep the winner with a full price, but then we have a look in the bottom of our pockets, and we say, let's support a second, 2 accessits, 2 second prizes, and we hope that this will be sufficient so you can make a visit and make the best of it.
Excellent. But now I think we need to turn to the winner, right? Congratulations, Alekos. This is great. We are so glad for you. Maybe you have a reaction on what you intend to do, or is this a surprise for you? Tell us.
Well, it's always a surprise. I want to thank incredible project, Benjamin, Ignazio, Stephen, Nikos, and everybody. My small comment, if you may, is that with what we are experimenting is a technology developed as a commons. So we developed this idea as a community, and I really believe that to solve the complicated problems, both in your areas, in the forest products, but also more generally, more broadly, it is needed to treat knowledge as an open source and to collaboratively manage to create solutions. And this is mostly why I'm happy for this winning. And I hope that with our visit from somebody from our community, we will have to exchange knowledge and can learn even more.
Excellent. This is nice. Maybe, Benjamin, you would like to have another statement on this?
Yes, I would like to congratulate Alekos for winning this contest, and I'd like to thank also the other 5 finalists for having participating to this contest, and again for the lot of work they've done the last month. And to all of you, I would like to suggest to go to the knowledge repository, because there's also plenty of other knowledge and practices to discover in the fact sheets. And even though the other finalists didn't win this contest, you can get all their contacts on the fact sheets. So I hope this community will keep living together, and you can exchange, and maybe you can have an exchange visit, but without funding. You are in contact. So thank you to all.
Excellent. I don't know whether it's possible to give also a word, to have word with the second position, but I'm looking at the time, and I think we need to move on with our program. So once again, congratulations to you, Alekos. I think it's magnificent, as it really also fits in this community efforts and this need to engage many actors in this sector. And I think also for this reason, you are at the very heart of it, and I think that's wonderful. But as already stated by Benjamin, congratulations to the 6 finalists. You have been a very selected club of 257, only 6, and then obviously we had to make a choice. You heard Ignazio. There's going to be support for not only the winner. And be sure we will be in touch with you to make sure we have the practical arrangements taken care of. Once more, congratulations, and I think we now need to move on to the next aspect or item on our list for today. We have been discussing a long time now on knowledge repository, knowledge contest. So this very clearly was a very important part of the incredible project. But there was another thing that was at least equally important, and it is innovation. Right? So let's move on and make sure that we have a closer look at what we did on basically innovation. And I would like to invite Jacopo Giacomoni from 84 in Italy, Padova, Italy. And he's going to explain open innovation to establish non-wood forest product businesses, and more specifically, the legacy of the incredible Open Innovation Challenge. Because, yes, we also had another challenge, an Open Innovation Challenge. Jacopo, please explain us.
Thank you very much, Steven, for the kind introduction. I'm Jacopo from 84, that is a spin-off of the University of Padova. And as Steven said, today I'm going to present one of the most challenging, actually, I would say, tasks that we pursue during the incredible project, that is the Open Innovation Challenge and Acceleration Service. I had shared my presentation. Just to go through a brief summary of what we are going to talk about now, I will firstly introduce a little bit the concept behind open innovation, then jump into the specific open innovation we promoted during the incredible project, then highlight a little bit the model behind the acceleration service that actually, as we will see, was the award of this challenge. And last but not least, presenting to you a couple of insights from the winners and some of the outcomes we finally had along all this long event. So first of all, as I said, what is open innovation? Open innovation, as you see, is two words. Innovation is quite easier to understand, so it's something new. But what's behind the word open? Behind the word open, there's a mindset, an approach. Open innovation is the approach towards innovation that relies on the idea of searching outside, to be open to other possible partners in searching for innovation. And what is one of the most used channel to search and go outside nowadays? For sure is the web. Currently, differently from the past, companies and entrepreneurs willing to search for innovation do not search just within their own companies, in their own and secret research and department activities, but they usually use the support of the internet to search and to scout for innovation that can come from different sectors and from different steps along the value chain. So in the internet, a lot of challenges can be found where companies ask to entrepreneurs, to young researchers, to suggest their ideas, their potential inputs to search for innovation. And actually, this is what has been done during the Incredible project. We decided to promote an open innovation challenge. We launched it in the web. And what we were searching for, basically, we were searching for ideas able to fill some of the gaps that emerged during the first years of the project. As you understood, Incredible is divided in 5 different INETs. Each INET had some challenges. We asked people which were their ideas to solve these challenges. It was open to everyone, so there was not an age limit or restriction in terms of provenance or position along the value chain. And the prize, the final prize, was the free participation to an acceleration service. To sum up in a graph, basically these gaps needed 5 ideas. The ideas would have been accelerated during a 10-day acceleration service that relied mainly on 2 primary input, money and knowledge. The money was supported by and dedicated towards the funding of the Incredible H2020 project, and the knowledge was scouted throughout the whole Incredible consortium and AMOV. We really had great partnership with entrepreneurs, professors, technicians, and managers with the idea to teach something and to help supporting this idea. Of course, in 10 days, we couldn't have taught all what was needed, but we focused on some subjects like business modeling, marketing, or traceability tools in order to came out with some business plans ready for funding, for evaluating these innovative approaches that we managed to scout and to explore some new ideas and some new value chains. All this happened last year. We started back in actually February 2019. Then there was a long way to reach the final event, during which we did some research for supporters. We did a lot of active scouting and recruitment because, as we will see, the non-wood forest product sector is quite a niche sector. And so we needed to search actively for the participants. Then there was a selection and an announcement of the winners in December 2019. And in the end, during February, we had the acceleration service that, unfortunately, as you know, is perfectly timed with the spread of the COVID pandemic. We will have some insights on this aspect later on. Which were the main challenges? Actually, we received a lot of applications, so more than 200 applications from 16 different countries, both European and non-European ones. Out of all this amount of applications and potential applicants, we did an internal selection and we came out with the 17 complete applications, so made out of a PowerPoint, a registration form, the CVs of the potential participants, and the business canvas. All these applications were then selected and evaluated by the consortium partnership. And we focus on 4 main topics during the evaluation. So the coherence of the idea with the knowledge gaps, the innovativeness of the idea, the potential impact, and the CVs of the applicants. The evaluation process was carried out in the last part during the General Assembly in Barcelona in October 2019, and the evaluation was made per INET. Each INET awarded a winner of the Open Innovation Challenge in order to have a good coverage of all the thematics area and all the differences within the INET. So who were the winners? They were 5, as I told you, covering all the different INETs, coming from Spain, Italy, Switzerland, and Tunisia, and ranging from really research activities and research business to really on-the-field ideas. Here they are during a picture taken in Padova during the acceleration service that I'm going to explain in terms of what has been done in these 10 days. Basically, the main lectures were held in Padova, hosted by the University of Padova. And then there was a second part in Barcelona during a cross-cutting seminar that allowed the participant to present their business ideas. As you can imagine, different businesses needed different expertises and different lectures. We tried to sum the common needs, some of the common needs, and we came out with mainly 3 central activity, let's say, the business plan and entrepreneurship skill development that was done in the first part, a marketing and communication strategy module during which they managed to handle this tricky theme that is communication and marketing with the end users. And last but not least, some field trips on the field in order to see real businesses going on and learn in practice what other entrepreneurs did. So which were the outcomes? Hereafter, I'm going to show you really briefly just some of the flyer that we produced with the winners, because later on you will have the time to meet some of them in a better way than a simple flyer. But for instance, Arwen was in the aromatic and medicinal plants, producing oils, extracts, condiments, and taken from an aromas de l'encinar, so basically cork, not cork, sorry, in Italian is leccio, but basically oak trees in the Madrid municipality. Then we had the Suru from the Cork INET developing new technology to mold this material and to create interesting and complicated object made out of cork. Then for mushroom and truffle INET, we had Nectaris. I'm not going to go in detail because you will know why, because in a matter of minutes, they are here actually. Then for resin, as we saw during a couple of the video Stephen showed, we had Mokhtar from Tunisia dealing with resin extraction in the rural areas of Tunisia. So how to deal with the social aspect of resin tapping. And last but not least, the wild nut and berries INET that was represented by a young couple of entrepreneurs, really dynamic and really full of energy, that deals with Belota Irahis is the name, is acorn. They produced acorn product in the rural area of Spain, and they completed the 5, let's say, representatives of the acceleration service. I'm not going to tell you much more about them because, as you will see, there's something going on in the following part of this presentation. And my one was the boring one in the sense that I just highlighted what has been done, but now we will have the time to see more in a dynamic way what are the legacy and the heritage of this Open Innovation Challenge. So thank you very much, and back to you, Stephen.
Your microphone, Stephen.
Yes, I think Alberto, you can now initiate these videos, video contributions, the playlist.
So we are foresters, and we have been looking for a solution for our family forest that is currently abandoned for many years. So 4 years ago or something like that, we were walking through the forest and we realized that it smells super nice, and that's one of the things that we like most about it. So we thought, okay, we can share this with other people and help them to have this experience.
We collect wild aromatic plants, and we believe this is a good way of sharing with our customers the natural values of sustainable forest management. Our wild aromatic plants take our customers through a walk through the forest and feel in nature. We really believe that this acceleration service will help us in designing a good marketing strategy and good commercialization and product design.
So what we are doing now is we are producing authentic truffle flavors produced from real truffles through a patented technology that we developed a couple of years ago. And we want to bring to market really authentic and natural truffle flavors that everybody would love.
We are here because we want also to know more about marketing and try to apply that information that we get here in our business plan.
So what we achieved so far is that we really have our key customers. So we validated our business strategy and our products, and now we really need to focus on growth.
We are creating a special device used for aquatic sports like surfing. It's called a pad, traction pad, traction surface you apply on surfboards.
All started from the desire to combine some of our passions. One of them is surfing. The other one, in my case, is design. We are both Cork lovers, and we love nature, of course.
The expectations were to be put in a brand new environment in which we could challenge our ideas and probably find out different perspectives. My expectations are rising right now.
Our idea of making different food products from the acorn came because we both are very close to the countryside in different parts of Spain, and acorn has always been used for fooding humans, but since the last 50 years it hasn't been used anymore, just for feeding pigs. And so we thought it was a very nice idea to recover this product and make it with different specific values a really good product, because it's a forgotten product right now.
I hope I learn a lot about wild product, knowing the financial and economic tools, and the most important is to meet people and enjoy.
This idea comes from the problem of the number of working days in the forest, because the number of working days is too less to compare to the other sector of agriculture in Tunisia. To increase the working day, to make a new job for rural women in forest. For my project, it's a social and economic project, a social project for the rural woman and rural farmer in the Aleppo pine forest, and for the economy, it can help the industrial for many users about resin extraction. So the acceleration service is a very good opportunity for us to change this idea from a written one to a real by this good information. So the idea start to be step by step real.
So, well, ladies and gentlemen, now we heard introductory videos of these 5 participants to the acceleration service. Now, these videos were recorded basically at the beginning of, well, their experience at the acceleration service. In the meantime, it's 1 year down the road, and it has been quite a year, right? So we were just wondering what happened. So 1 year after the acceleration service, and we asked these attendees to the acceleration service, and we're very happy to have the opportunity to have a very short interview, only a couple of questions, I'm afraid, with the people from Nectaris. So I would like to invite to my table Richard from Nectaris and Diana from Nectaris. So, well, good to see you again. It has been a very nice experience together in Padova, but now it's 1 year later. And, well, let me just ask the question. In this year, we are very curious to find out what has happened to your project. And let me start with Richard, for instance. Tell us, how has your business evolved? You're muted, Richard.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, but we have echo.
Yes, I have to put my my mic.
Your audio.
Okay. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's wonderful.
Perfect. So yes, thank you very much, and greetings to everyone. So indeed, it has been a year since we have been in the program, and essentially we had been there to develop one key product with truffle flavor, which is an oil that we wanted to bring to the market. Despite COVID and all the difficulties, we really managed to do it, and this is in big part thanks to the accelerator program. So we just launched these natural truffle oils through a crowdfunding campaign that has been pretty successful, and now we're kind of fine-tuning the product and trying to go to market in an even bigger way.
Excellent. Well, I must say just congratulations for this achievement. You have launched your product on the market. You managed to indeed succeed in raising the funding in Indiegogo, and that's not a minor achievement. That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned that to your experience, it was in partly thanks to this acceleration service. So, well, could you perhaps elaborate a little bit? And let's go to Diana for a moment. Diana, how have you experienced this acceleration service? Could you single out one thing that perhaps you say, well, this for me has made a difference? This is what I learned there.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, hello to everyone. Nice to see you again after a year. And yes, indeed. So we already had a business plan when we went to the accelerator program, but we were lacking a little bit in terms of the marketing. So I think that the marketing was really something that we could take advantage of it and develop this storytelling that we wanted for our product. Well, that was really amazing and helped us a lot to develop all the marketing strategy and all the storytelling that we wanted to bring to market with the product. By the way, this is the product. You can see it here.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, what about you, Richard? Anything to add? To what extent has you mentioned it, that it has played a role, the acceleration service? And what is the thing that you take? What is your takeaway lesson when you think back at what happened in Padova?
Yes, I think that, it's really a continuous learning process. And even if, so this marketing was really, lessons were really key for us to push us. But what we see is that we really have to continue to fine-tune the message in the communication, because, there is lots of competing products on the market. And even though we have a patent and even though we have much better flavor profiles compared to what you find on the markets, we have to get this message through to customers. And this is very tricky because the message has to be very simple. So we really continue on trying to narrow this down, and we do lots of testing and trials and errors.
So it's about, indeed, like you say, the marketing, getting your story right, an attractive story, and knowing how to bring it and who would you have to tell it to, obviously, right? So, well, excellent. I'm looking at the time. I'm afraid this has to be a very short interview, but at least Richard is going to stay us after what is going to happen next.
Yeah.
Again, congratulations again once more for this major achievement. It's good to see you again. I hope we can stay in touch. And lots of success with your endeavor, with your enterprise. Now, that was Nectaris, but we also asked the other attendees, and we got a video response sent in by the people from Aroen. And I think we can launch this video right now. Alberto?
during the last year, we are very happy because we are keep growing little by little, but we enter the market. We, for those of you don't know us, we have already infusions and condiments and essential oils and some other extracts as oleates, alcohols. We already entered the market, and that was a huge step for us. And we have started selling and start moving our products around, and people is quite happy, customers are happy, and that's really important for us. The experience with the incredible acceleration service and with ET4 and the University of Padua was really nice. We learned a lot of things, and we think we increased a lot our capacities, mainly the communication and the ideas that we want to share with the people that help us a lot. Our main achievement during this last year was, as I previously said, enter the market. That was a huge achievement for us because we have been working a lot, getting ready for that, and then we jumped to the market, and that was a huge achievement for us. We haven't experienced any problem for the COVID because we are starting, and right now the problem is that we have to organize ourselves. So we haven't experienced any problem for the COVID. Eventually, I think it's also an opportunity for us because we are really close to a city as Madrid. So eventually all the problem with the people in the cities and so on. So I think people is getting anxious for getting out to the city and have experience with the forest and with open spaces. So I think the change of the society that is being around is probably going to be an opportunity.
Excellent. Well, so now we have from two of these attendees or participants to the acceleration service, we got a little bit of flavor of what happened in this 12 months since they attended or got the training at the acceleration service. Now, what I would like to do is to move on to the next point, and that is basically a kind of a round table debate, but it's rather free. And I would like to invite to the table the people that are already in your image. They can stay. So Richard is going to be part of it. By the way, Richard is the founder and CEO of Nectaris. And Diana, if she can stay with us, that would be great. She's the Innovation Product Development Director of Nectaris. So we have the profile, if you like, the ideas, experience of a startup, a starting company. Now, we also have Jacopo as somebody from 84, so the acceleration service organizer, if you like. And we have an additional party, which is an additional person, which is Nicola Andrighetto. Nicola, welcome. I hope you can join our table. I'm looking at the broadcast, and you're net. Yes, you're arriving. That's great.
Good afternoon.
Please. Excellent. And we even have an additional person, and her name is Mariana Ferreira, and she is the compliance officer of Grupo RB. And she has played also a very important role in this incredible project. She has witnessed, observed, and participated in many events. Some of you who attended yesterday workshop might have noticed her several times, and I hope she can join us. Let's see if we manage technically. Mariana, can you join us?
Mariana is not inside Zoom.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, then we go ahead with the people we have, and I hope she will manage to somehow get inside this Zoom, and then that she can be part of the table. Anyhow, for that reason, it's already very important that we have Diana, so that she's somehow counterbalancing the abundance of male people at this round table. We had, I think, the previous round table was only male, and that is a very bad sign in terms of gender balance, right? So thank you, Diana, for staying with us. Now, if the first question I would like to raise, it's a bit an open debate, so all of us can intervene, but the first question I would like to raise is to Nicola. And my question is as follows. Well, you have been organizing this acceleration service, and I think certainly in Europe, but it's not only Europe, there has been so many efforts and emphasis and investments made on supporting innovation in lots of sectors. Support innovation, support entrepreneurship, in a range of sectors, like I say. So what is so special about non-wood forest products? What are the main barriers and challenges that an entrepreneur might meet or have to overcome if he is dealing or working in this sector? So why a special acceleration service for the non-wood forest product sector? Tell us, Nicola.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Steven, for the question. I think non-wood forest products is a niche market, maybe a bit isolated from the rest of the supply chain. In particular, if you are producers, you are a bit isolated from the rest of the supply chain, as also from the rest for the European strategy sometimes, because this distance is not physical, but also if you think about, for example, final consumers very often doesn't understand the history behind of these products. The history that it can include impacts, economic impacts in this kind of context, for example. And also the problem for producers or for collectors of mushroom, truffle, the problem is that sometimes the European legislation context is fragmented. There isn't a not coherency among European regulation. And I think it's important right now because the market is a global market. The trade, we have to do the trade. An example, if we think about truffle now, one of the most important supplier from Italy of mushroom of a truffle is Iran. So if you are young businessman, you have to find a normative framework that is right now is not clear, not current. Another problem for the business, I think, is that there is a lack of clear market data. For example, statistical. If you ask us, do you have a price of truffle and mushroom? It's not easy to say the European price, the average European price of these kind of products. So also the problem is there is a lack of this kind of data that I think for young startup is important to have. And the last point, for example, for aromatics, for mushroom, for truffle, that we have to understand that there is a informal market that in some context is dominant, is a predominant. We know that we have to support business that is based on a legal and transparent activities.
So it is indeed some sort of a special market, right? So, and for that reason, it indeed deserves to be treated a little bit differently because the entrepreneurs might need a different support. Okay, so we understand. Now, maybe a question for Jacopo. It's clear that ET4 has had this experience in Incredible, but this is not the first time you have set up and organized an acceleration service. Can you elaborate a little bit on this joint, on the lessons learned when organizing this accelerator service? And before you answer, let me just welcome Mariana to our table. Mariana, we're very glad that we sorted out the technical hiccups, and we're very glad that you can join us. Welcome to our table. Okay, now, Jacopo, you can take the question, please.
Yes, as you said, actually, we had another very interesting experience during another European project that was EcoStar. It was a slightly different project in the sense that the acceleration lasted for 3 months. so 3 months in comparison to the 10 days of Incredible Project. But overall, finding things in common in between the two acceleration service for sure was the themes that we treated. So all of them were ideas and projects related to natural-based solution, and more specifically non-wood forest products. What are the things that are most useful for this kind of initiatives? It's hard to answer. As I said before, every project and every idea has a different stage of evolution. So you can find an entrepreneur with just a smart idea that is willing to explore with you the idea. But you can also find, for instance, entrepreneurs like Richard and Diana were, with an already really clear business model, an already really clear product to be put on the market, but that maybe lack some expertise in a very specific field, for instance, communication and marketing. So as organizers of this kind of acceleration service and support activity, I would say that is one of the most challenging thing is make the acceleration service useful and with good outcomes for a wide range of participants. That was definitely the most challenging task. We came out with the idea of focusing just on 2 main thematic areas that were business development, so business plan canvas evolution, let's say, or activities related to mentoring in that specific area. And then we contact experts in the field of marketing and communication strategy for this second very important theme that, as Richard said, is usually very tricky for people willing to enter in the final consumer sector of the value chain of the non-wood forest product. Even this morning and yesterday, we were talking about the importance of communicating the values behind the natural-based product and natural-based solution. And to sum up and to wrap up, I would say that it's hard to design something specifically for the non-wood forest sector, but it's somehow really interesting in searching these common denominator aspects, and I hope that we manage to reach at least a level of usefulness for the people attending to our acceleration service in Padova and in EcoStar before.
Well, I think if we listen to the testimonials of the people that have attended it, it's quite clear that it has been very useful for them. So there's no doubt about that. In fact, I think within the project during one of the meetings, I think we were even rethinking if we had to do this incredible project again, are the things that we might do differently. It's a sort of discussions and reflections you tend to have at these project meetings. And then one of the things that popped up was, well, maybe instead of trying to give a boost to 5 companies, maybe we needed to have been more ambitious and go for 20 companies to try to help them, 20 entrepreneurs, with obviously then a corresponding budget to allow to do that for the party organizing this. But is it then the only thing that we need to do is, if we want to boost entrepreneurship in this sector, do we just need to build accelerators everywhere? There must be other things that are also important, right? And let us perhaps now listen to Richard. Richard, well, you had the acceleration service program. You benefited from that. It's quite clear. But in your experience as an entrepreneur, you're at the starting point, at the initial stage of your adventure, your enterprise. What else is it? What are the other barriers that you have to overcome? What are the other barriers that you have to overcome?
Absolutely.
Por favor, Richard, mutear el otro ordenador.
Stephen, can you hear me?
Yes, and I think you have to lower the volume on the laptop that is connected to the website, probably.
Okay, perfect. So yes, you're right. I mean, I agree that accelerators are growing up like mushrooms everywhere. And one actually, concern that we very often face when we speak with investors is they always, would think that our market is way too small for them to invest. And this is a reality. I mean, you have to look at where, it's becoming very trendy to create a startup and, hopefully to make millions. But, very often with non-wood forest products, this is not the story. And I think that you have two ways to go. I mean, either you can look in a very modern way, and this is a bit the way we will go also, which is to look at fungal biotechnology and the possibility to grow fungi in bioreactors to make, the future food and use microproteins, so fungi protein to make alternative meats, etc., right? This is one way. Or you have to look at these businesses as ways to help communities. And I really think that we should have both approaches because, I mean, at the end of the day, they should be very, very complementary. And there is certainly not a single way that works. And I would like to recommend one book that is called The €100 or $100 Startup. I don't remember the author, but essentially it's a book about all startups that started with less than $100. And I think that this is much more telling examples for, the kind of non-wood forest products that sometimes you simply need to have a relatively good idea. You need to have some sense of business, and sometimes you can really achieve a lot and be much more happy than, maybe like very big entrepreneurs that make millions at the end of the day.
Okay, so you're basically pointing towards two different directions, either the high-tech direction, the biotechnology, or frame your innovation or your enterprise entrepreneurship within a context of helping communities. And I think we had a couple of nice examples of this in this knowledge contest, right? Yes. Okay, well, that's the perspective from somebody at the initial stage. Now I would like to bring in Mariana. Mariana, we invited you partly, obviously, to counterbalance this abundance of male attendance to this on this roundtable, but also because, well, you know the sector, right? You have been in Incredible for the last 3 years. You have, I'm quite sure, your own perspective on what would need to be done to boost innovation in this non-wood forest product sector. So what is your take on this? Is there a thing you would like to point out?
Yes, thank you for start. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you for all your organization for the opportunity to be here and to participate in this debate. Contrary to Richard and to other presenters that we saw here today, I come from an established company. It's a very old company. And so I would say I have a completely different view. Not different in the sense that we don't want to innovate or continue to be entrepreneurs, on the opposite. But since we are established, perhaps we have more vices or more barriers because we have to maintain the business that we already have created, and to take further steps always constitutes kind of a risk. I was thinking that within an established company, an interesting idea, and I exchanged it as well within other people within the Incredible project, is to make innovation contests inside the company itself. Because we have many people working with us, and these people know about the company, they know about the business, and perhaps they have new ideas that they can give us and help us give further steps. The other comment that I would like to share with you would be from all these years of participating in this project, I do have the feeling, the very intense feeling that non-wood forest products do have special characteristics, conditions, particularities. And so all of this must be considered. And one of these issues is that it looks like we are always in limbos. Well, we are not wood, we belong to the forest, we are not agriculture, so we seem to misfit everywhere we look at. And I believe that's a barrier, not only in innovation and entrepreneurship, but also in certification, regulation, administration, and I believe that would be an issue as well to be considered. I was thinking, for instance, within the fact sheets that were subject to contest previously, I found it very interesting, the project on pinus needles, and it was in the iNet of Resins. Does it belong to the iNet of Resins? Should we create another iNet for needles? Needles are for sure another non-wood forest product with specific characteristics and all that. Of course, that we needed to integrate them anywhere, and please welcome needles to the world of resin. But there's a lot more to explore. And that would be my comment for now. Thank you.
Well, that's excellent. So we had the positions from all four of you, and it's clear all indicate two different things. Richard is saying, well, basically it's about making smart choices and smart selections. Go down one route or go down to another route, etc., and try to be smart and make it happen, even if you happen to only have $100, right? One of the things I would like to indicate now is yesterday or the two previous days, we had this workshop on resin. And one of the debates we had at a certain point was, well, innovation, where does it happen? On the one hand, you have the argument that very often it's the startups, it's the small companies, the starting enterprises that have this will basically to be a bit revolutionary, right? And then the other argument is, yes, but it's the big companies that have the critical mass in terms of funding, in terms of competences, experience, etc. It takes a little bit, both of them probably. And I think I remember correctly, Jacopo, you made the point that stage that, yes, there is this concept of open innovation. Could you perhaps elaborate a little bit on that, Jacopo? Could open innovation indeed support innovation and entrepreneurship in the non-wood forest product sector, and could then an acceleration service also play a role in that?
Yes, of course, as always, difficult question in the sense that it's not always black or white. Generally speaking, I believe that the concept of open innovation is a successful one, in the sense that just as a matter of statistics, if the innovation is searched just within a company, there will be really few people thinking about what can be done. So all the concept, let's say, of research department, just a couple of people hanging and doing some meetings within them. The idea of concept innovation, let's say, technically can be split in two different approaches that can be both used. One is the idea of inbound open innovation. The other one is the idea of outbound innovation. Just to give you an idea of the difference, the outbound innovation means, for instance, that a company is willing to share with something from outside some of their expertise in order to see if someone else is willing to extract something more interesting that they are going to do within the company. On the other way around, the inbound innovation is taking something from outside the company and bring it within the company and try to elaborate something innovative within the company. Both of these approaches have pros and cons. And also talking about sides of company involved, as you were asking me, they can be complementary. For instance, a really big company can decide to promote and invest in an open innovation challenge, not a project, for instance, as it was the case of Incredible, but for instance, a good company with a lot of budget in research, instead of investing it within its own team, can put an open innovation challenge on the web, on a platform, saying, I do have money, but I do not have the idea. Is there something willing to show me is a smart idea? I will put the budget. In this way, technology can support a big company to scout for innovation in a way more efficient way than the possibilities that a company could have had in the 19th or in the 20th century. So I would say that technology can support in a really good way this approach. On the other way around, the small company usually, or a startup, can have the freedom of participate and search for this kind of opportunities, knowing that it's flexible in the sense that, generally speaking, big companies usually do have a kind of inertia. So they do have their own value chains, as Mariana was saying, they do have their marketing strategy, the value chains are consolidated, so it's difficult to immediately change the path or go towards a really dramatic innovation. But relying on young entrepreneurs or small startups, they can avoid the risk, let's say, somehow, and put the risk onto the young entrepreneurs or up to the researcher, for instance. Also because innovation can arrive from a really technical, let's say, an academical field, but also from a really pragmatic activity or idea that works perfectly in the field, let's say. As the knowledge contest already showed us, you can have an idea in how to drill the resin, that is on the field, and you can have an idea on how to have a lab procedure or something really of high scientific concept and level. So I definitely believe that open innovation is the way forward, because more people think about what can be done, more higher is the chance to find out the best idea within the group, let's say. On the contrary, the old style silo mentality of the company probably won't be able to find new challenges that, keep in mind, in the 21st century are skyrocketing. So the dynamic of the sectors and the markets nowadays is way higher than the one that was a couple of decades ago. So also company needs to find new ways of attracting smart people and mobilizing their old concepts that shouldn't be cancelled, but can be improved and innovated.
Okay, thank you so much, Jacopo. Well, that's a very long elaboration on this idea of this open innovation. We all embrace this probably, but we have a question coming in from Edward. I think it's directed towards Mariana. And I would like to really start another topic as well, but let us quickly take this question. So maybe, Mariana, a quick answer on the following question. Well, if we have these established companies and you suggest to just organize these innovation contests within the companies, because it means there is a lot of potential that probably is not exploited, right? Now, the simple question is, why would we need something like a challenge within a company? I mean, the employees are the same. They're all there. They could all basically come up with their brilliant and best ideas each day, even this evening. Why doesn't it happen? Is there a specific barrier you see there?
Well, I think that within established companies, you just go your way, and sometimes it's very difficult to look, have a wider view. But you are right. Edward is right. The thing is that if you are within the company, you already know the barriers, and you already have a context. So it's not something new. And many companies don't have, well, we have it inside our company, the possibility to have suggestions, ideas to improve our processes and things like that. But I agree that if you open innovation, as in a sense, as Jacopo was mentioning, you will get much more ideas, different ideas. But perhaps those ideas are out of context. They don't know the market, they don't know the processes, and perhaps it may be more difficult to move on from there. So perhaps an open innovation challenge that mixes like Jacopo was suggesting, within established companies, and bringing in new companies, new young entrepreneurs, could be the perfect match, the perfect mix in order to get results. What I was thinking when Jacopo was speaking, and I think it is connected with Edward's question as well, is that in a kind of hybrid situation like that, you may have controlled risk from part of the established company, but also controlled risk from the part of the new company, the entrepreneurship that may receive funds to develop an idea. So the big company will not jeopardize one business. I mean, it's controlled, and the small company may have an opportunity to develop.
Okay, excellent. So it's basically about this day-to-day operational pressure that perhaps is forcing people to always be busy doing the stuff that they have today to take care of. So it would need a kind of a process, a streamlined, explicit process on how to take up and collect these ideas, which brings me to one of the points. It's one of the final points I would like to initiate now. I would like to, we don't have much time anymore, but I still would like to have a statement by Nicola on the following question. If Mariana mentions that, well, we need to collect these answers, etc. I think you, in one of our previous contacts, you referred to, well, there are many other factors that need to be considered. And one of them is the scouting part. And I think already Jacopo mentioned that in this acceleration service, this innovation challenge we had also for Incredible, a lot of effort went into finding these entrepreneurs, finding these ideas, right? So what could be done? Do we need to involve other stakeholders, other actors?
Yes, I think it's important to involve to improve the network among the sector. Why? Because the context is that there are a lot of maybe small collector and producers, but we have to improve it, to reinforce the local maybe organization, regional organization that can facilitate also the communication between producers, collectors, and European or national strategies. I think it's very important, the role of this association. For example, in Italy, we have a lot of small associations, but there aren't any coordination among them. And also, I think they can have an important role in certification, because certification, I think, is important for the sector, but we have to take care that this certification is serious. And also, if this can be a brand of a territory, this certification can be based on controls. I think also, so the certification can be important only if it's serious, and also if it's a coordination among different certification. And the certification can improve the communication of a brand, of a product, also for political level, but only if this certification is based on serious criteria. Because it can be a risk for the whole sector if the certification is not serious, based on serious criteria.
Yeah, so you're already pointing to indeed bringing in other actors, associations at the local level also, etc., and then elements like disenabling factors such as certification, etc. One final question for Richard, and we would need a rather short answer for that, unfortunately, but I still think it's very important that you can share your experience on, well, you succeeded in finishing this Indiegogo funding campaign, right? So could you tell us a little bit on this? Because I think many parties, many entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs are looking for funding. And if traditional channels are not interested because the business is considered a risky one, as you stated yourself, so you need to find alternative funding channels, right? So this is clearly an alternative funding channel. So can you just quickly explain a little bit your experience with this funding?
Of course. So we decided to go with the crowdfunding campaign it's not really to generate much money. I mean, many people think about it that it's money, but in our case, we raised about 10,000 euro, and we spent about 10,000 euro. So in reality, it was more about the ability to test the viability of a product very fast. And in this sense, the tool is extremely powerful. But it's, once again, it's not much of a tool for real sales. And what we really learned about crowdfunding is that it's not the crowdfunding moment that matters, is rather the 4 months that you spend beforehand, where you have to very, very heavily invest into pre-communication, and like Tommaso, our marketing coach during the Incredible program was saying, you need to build your crowds, you need to make lots of noise, you need to make sure that, right, because crowdfunding is happening online, so you need to make sure that you will grab the attention of people and that they are willing, once you launch your campaign, which is always like a very short event, typically it's 1 month, that they will basically buy your products or support you or invest. And I think we, for instance, decided to go with a crowdfunding campaign run through a platform in the US, because we assumed that the US was a very big market for us. Later on, we realized that this was a mistake because we went too large. And let's say that we realized that we would have benefited probably more from a more local campaign run, for instance, in Switzerland only or in France. And that would have also allowed us to test, to get more deeper knowledge inside the market. But I mean, all in all, we are still pretty happy with the outcome. But of course, there's always things that you can improve. And if anyone wants to follow up with us, they can just, contact us directly via LinkedIn, and we're happy to share more.
Excellent. So it's very clear, being an entrepreneur is really about learning as you go and trying to adjust the idea, adjust the process, etc. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you have been wonderful guests to my table. I would have loved to continue to explore the topic of how we can boost innovation. I'm also looking at the time. We're already 10 minutes behind schedule, and I think I need to respect and live up to the promises I made myself to you. So I think we should finish this roundtable conversation here, but let this not be the end of the interaction, right? Because there is going to be, after the closure of this session, there is going to be a follow-up networking moment, if you like, a kind of an add-on session And I know for sure that Richard is going to be part of that session. So if you happen to be interested to learn more about Richard's ideas or the products or Nectaris or his experience with particular topics, I know that he's going to be there, and I'm pretty sure there will be other people, right? So thank you so much, guests. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, we made quite some tour this afternoon. And let me even say today, right? But this afternoon, with this Open Innovation Festival or Innovation Festival, by looking at this knowledge contest, looking at this innovation contest and the acceleration service, I think we made a wonderful tour of some of the achievements, by no means all of the achievements, but some of the achievements of incredible, or achievements in which incredible to some extent played a role. Let's remain humble now. I think this brings us to the end of this session. And I would like to thank all attendees for staying with us, all speakers, all roundtable attendees, all people that have contributed with the Pecha presentations, with giving these video contributions on the knowledge contest, etc. Thank you so much. And I would like now to hand the word to either Margarita or Ignazio. I think Ignazio is raising his hand. So, Ignazio.
Margarita, please. If not, Steven, just, we promised today there will be a Festival of Innovation, and in the morning, a festival of to-do ideas for future work in terms of policy innovation. I think I hope we've been up to the challenge and up to the promise. But now I want only to say, on the one hand, thank you very much to Joanna, Benjamin, and Edward, who really pushed these fact sheets, this compilation of practices for knowledge to create this high-quality repository. I'm really large for this type of projects. I think we're one of the thematic networks have developed more of these activities, and you see the quality of them. We got this contest today, so you see that they are really innovative ideas there, and with a lot of thinking and a lot of social push and a lot of high spirit. And also then thank you to ET4 team. It's been really a pleasure to work with Nicola and Jacopo on this open innovation. I will remember our conversation. We were preparing the proposal on how to address this. And I think they've done a fantastic job with the limited resources, the limited time to deliver this acceleration. And we see from participants that this storytelling that they build up there, this way of how to present themselves, is really useful for entrepreneurs. So fantastic. In this respect, just to let you know that we could not do more on this open innovation. It was also a learning point for all of us. And also because this is not exactly in the description of the call. So if we put more of this, we were risking maybe that how it would be understood by Commission. So we took the risk of having it because we really wanted to do it, but we put it in a moderate way. And I think now we are all eager to do more of this because it's really the people you bring around and the spirit that is created is really fantastic. So I was just to say thank you especially to our colleagues pushing for the fact sheets and the repository, and for our colleagues at ET4 for helping us and driving this open innovation.
Thank you so much, Ignazio. Let's now give the word to Margarita for some conclusions or observations. And don't forget to invite the people to the networking moment that we have right now. But let's start with the observations and some conclusions.
No, after Ignazio, I don't have much to say. I did not react immediately to Steven's invitation to talk because I was creating the link for the next discussion that we can have in another Zoom session. So I think it's going to be posted on the chat, maybe, or shall I put it there?
Okay. You can post it in the chat. So what we're going to have is basically the attendees to this conference. They have followed the conference in basically their website browser, right? So they were not basically in the Zoom meeting like the speakers were. Now, what we want is to create the opportunity for all the attendees that have this wish to go to a separate Zoom conference, and please follow the link in the chat. Go to the Zoom conference that will be initiated by Margarita, and we create this as a kind of a network moment, right? I'm just explaining this, Margarita, while in the meantime, you can take care of posting the Zoom. Then I give the word back to you.
Yeah, so I have just created a room but that's a technical problem. In order to open the new room, I have to leave this one. So maybe I will say goodbye to everyone. We meet again tomorrow or in the room whose link has been just posted in the chat. So for those that want to have a relaxed discussion with Ricardo and other people that will be there, I will be there waiting for you. So I'm going to leave from this one.
Excellent. And I will be there as well. And so hopefully many of the knowledge contest participants, the Open Innovation Challenge
will be there.
Participants, please, all of you, if you're interested, join us. We did this in a previous workshop and we ended up having a virtual bar with virtual beer, but lots of real and very interesting discussions.
Yeah.
And we would like to
see you in a minute. I'm going to leave.
Thank you so much. To all of
Steven,
you. Yes.
No, you will get your well-deserved clap tomorrow. Thank you for excellent moderation today. Big effort. Great job. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
See you in a minute.
Absolutely. Count on me.